Ladies and gentlemen, the official time.
Well, we welcome you in here to Paul McGinley Field for some more Trinity men's soccer action, and it's the 1-0 Tigers taking on the 1-1 Rowan Profs, who saw both of these teams here at Paul McGinley Field late last night after the games were delayed due to lightning in the area. Both teams, though, coming out on top and bringing momentum into this game. My name is Ryan Figert, and I'm joined once again by Callum Squires. Callum, we saw a couple of good matchups yesterday, and this seems like almost a quasi-final early in the season.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. Great to be back with you, man. Really nice to be here. It should be a really exciting game. It's a really interesting one. And, talking to Coach McGinley pre-game, it's very rare that we get an East versus West matchup here in San Antonio. It only really happens once or maybe twice a season if weird things happen when it comes to NCAA tournament seeding. And this result will really stand the test of this season. In terms of seeding, in terms of building that NCAA tournament field, it's going to be really interesting to see how the Profs and Tigers face off here. Profs in a very interesting brown uniform, one I've seen like it for a while here. But yeah, Rowan, they played well yesterday against Southwestern, managed to get the 2-1 win, narrow game. Southwestern is a tough team to win. You have to find a way to do it. So credit to Rowan for putting that together, and then the Tigers with the impressive 2-0 victory over Claremont, and they'll be looking to continue that positive momentum in what will be a stern test.
Absolutely, and Coach McGinley sticking with the same 11. They got the job done yesterday from the start, and that includes Austin Woolman in between the sticks, Kyle Davis at right back, J.C. Rule partnered with Peter Blanc in the heart of defense, Jack Eubank on the left, midfield three of Louis Instrull, Jake Simon, who scored his first Trinity goal yesterday, and Fraser Burns, who picked up 2 assists to kickstart his campaign. In the attack, Shin Aji on the right, Hunter Kane on the left, and Michael Meese, who's off and running up front. On the other side, for the Profs, just the one change, as McGuigan comes out for Alex Ferrara, who picked up an assist on what ended up being the game winner for Chad Yates. So it's Kaplan, Cleary, Yates, Wilby, Yates, Caputo, Barreto, Salazar Escobar, Martelloni, Gale, and Ferrara from the start for the Profs, and Coach Scott Baker in his 8th season at the helm. On the other side, Coach McGinley, of course, 32 years now in the job and going strong. Undefeated regular season last year, an unfortunate first-round defeat in the NCAA tournament, and that's brought the fuel to the fire here in 2022 as the Tigers look to turn 1-0 into 2-0 here on this Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, and you can't be surprised that there aren't any changes. I mean, it was a great performance last night from the Tigers and a great team performance. So at the end of the day, it's really hard to make a change when you've played against a nationally ranked opponent, and a team that is a threat in your region and been able to come out on top. So I'm not at all surprised that the Trinity have stuck with the same lineup here. And, as far as Tiger fans are concerned, hopefully they can continue their success of last night with another win tonight.
Yeah, really the only threat to either starting 11 is fatigue and injury in such a turnaround. The game last night going into the early hours of this morning, finishing up around 12:15 local time. And we noticed a couple of players with different wraps and things around some problem areas already, just one game in. But this quick turnaround simulating an NCAA tournament cadence, and that's what Rowan wanted to get out of this weekend. And Trinity won't mind the experience either.
No, and you made the point earlier, Ryan, that this feels like a de facto final of this tournament. It's only in an unofficial sense, but it definitely has that feel to it. This is a big game. It's still quite hot here, even at 7 p.m. local time. And, credit to these two teams for being willing to put early season records on the line here, because at the end of the day, you can't prepare for late season games without playing that level of competition. So not at all surprised to see a high level of competition here in the early stage of the season, and excited to see how this one goes.
Going to be one more team huddle for Trinity, and the shadows now cascading past midfield here at Paul McGinley Field. The Profs ready and eager to get this one underway, wearing the brown kits and yellow/gold socks. Officially brown and gold are the Profs. Trinity in their home whites with maroon numbers and maroon piping down the sides. It'll be Michael Meese to get us underway. Got his scoring start yesterday in the second half. Fantastic individual goal, splitting 2 defenders, finding the bottom corner for his 17th career Trinity goal in 16 games. Gets the ball rolling, and we are underway here on this Sunday evening. Louis Instrull back to Kyle Davis. Instrull keeps his place after going 90 minutes in the win yesterday. Testament to his early season fitness, and it would have been difficult to take him off the field at any point, the quality that he was showing on the ball yesterday. Here's Burns, scoops it wide for Aji. Good combination here. Ball finds the feet of Enstrel, dispossessed. And it's Yates tripped up, able to win his side of throw.
And you made a fair point, Ryan, about, fatigue here potentially playing a role. You would expect to see both teams use more of their bench than they did yesterday. 2 games in 2 days is really difficult. We've already said about how it mirrors an NCAA tournament weekend. But in hot and humid temperatures here in San Antonio, there's just realistically no way that 11 players are going to go 90 minutes. I doubt anyone goes 90 minutes tonight, even Louis Instraw, who did yesterday. I would be surprised. And Trinity trying a bit of an early press there, high up the fit.
And Rule able to get ahead to it. The Profs track it down. Martelloni goes long, and Rule's going to have to deal with this one. He's got Ryan Gale, a goal scorer yesterday, there for company. Tracked down by Ferrara, the senior. Dropped off to one of the 2 captains for the Profs, and Chad Yates, who was excellent yesterday, really caught the eye. Here's a chance for a low ball in. Miscue, and Peter Blanc able to stab it clear, but it arrives at the feet of Alfred. Wide now for Luke Yates. Yates to Yates on the far side, no relation. Confirmed that before the game. David Caputo there, looking for something cheeky on the nutmeg. Cleared away by the Tigers.
That's a nice start from Rowan here. They've done a good job in getting into attacking positions and creating down the line. I like the way Caputo started, and Yates we said already is a danger man. He's someone who had a very good game yesterday and could be a big threat for Rowan here.
Throw in for Rowan. Heads out for Trinity throw 20 or so yards down the field. Kyle Davis, who we saw cramp up towards the end of the game. Good to see that he's okay to continue here in the 11 after a very energetic start to the season, as we've come to expect. Now in his 5th year with the Tigers. Burns able to volley that one forward for Kane. Kane will chase in pursuit of Barreto here. And he's able to get ball side and win it back. Burns just dumps this one into the channel. Didn't have many options on the ball. And Mies will key the press here as Martelloni goes long. 2 runners. And it's Alfred in behind Rule. Forced close to the corner flag. Eubank there to clean it up and put it out for a Prof's throw.
And that's well defended by JC Rule. He was a little bit behind the 8 ball there initially. Will be Alfred showing some good pace early on, trying to get down the right-hand channel. But, JC Rule recovered well and did a good job there just to hold him up. And, Trinity won't mind defending a throw-in, even though this could be a little bit of a threatening position for the Profs.
Yeah, of course, yesterday Southwestern known for using the long throw, but it was actually Rowan who scored from one, fired into the feet of a teammate. And this one into the danger area, and it's a chance early for Alfred. 2 chances at it, and the 3rd finds the net. A broken play from the throw-in, but it's Caputo who has the goal. And it's Trinity who trail here. Just 4 minutes gone.
It's a bit of a strange one here as we take a look at the replay. There's a scramble in the box. Alfred took a swipe at it, and everyone seemed to kind of stand still. Time stood still for a second there, and, and Caputo was able to put it away. I mean, it's a strange situation. Alfred taking 2 hacks at it, not really getting any purchase, but it was strange. Trinity's back line almost stood like statues there a little bit. And Rowan have a huge goal here in the early goings here that's going to make this all the harder for Trinity to try and find a win in this game now that they've got to come from behind.
We saw Southwestern score in the 4th minute against Rowan yesterday, and the Profs fought their way back in front before the halftime break. Ended up going on to win that one 2-1. It's the first time Trinity's gone behind here in 2022. We'll see what they have in the tank looking to respond. This one down the line intended for Burns. Overhit that time by Eubank, who picked up an assist yesterday, as we saw in 2021. Able to combine in the attack and also provides a great left foot for set pieces. Last touch off Caputo. Alfred slow to give it up to Eubank, who gets the ball rolling quickly. Blanc going long. Burns able to pluck that one out of the sky, and Kane there to cause some chaos as the Profs put it into touch. Loretto starting this game at right back. It was McGuigan who started on the right of the back four yesterday. The first year is going to come off the bench today. That's just the one change between these two teams. Both coaches pretty happy with the squad they got a win yesterday. Trinity have another throw now.
Yeah, and if you're Trinity now, you just got to try and settle down for just a couple of minutes here. You know, get over the shock of going behind early, try and keep possession and see if you can find a way to get back level sooner rather than later. But the worst thing they could do is take a rushed approach here and potentially give up a second on the counter attack. So, control in possession, and that's what Trinity appear to be trying to do here as Blanc keeps the ball back to Willman.
That's a decent interchange there, trying to feel out the profs and where the space might be. See Burns pretty active in the early going. As Blanc goes long once again. This one towards Meese, onto the chest of Michael Meese, perfectly weighted into the path of Agi. Can't connect with Kane. A two-man press forced Martelloni to just put that one into touch. 2 yards into the Rowan half.
It's a weird one here. You don't see Trinity concede early goals very often. Usually they are the ones who are starting quickly and getting ahead in the early goings. So this was definitely not what Coach McGinley had drawn up in the playbook. So we'll see how the Tigers respond here to this early setback.
Burns dumped to the turf by Yates. As the ball had already gone. A little bit of an awkward one there.
Yeah, a bit of an off the ball incident there. I mean, ball had gone and Yates seemed to kind of just hip check and almost hip toss Fraser Burns over his leg and to the ground. And this is, a good opportunity for the Tigers. We saw a chance last night. JC Rule getting his head on a ball in from Fraser Burns from a very, very similar position. Let's see if the Tigers can create a shot on goal here.
And Eubank joins Burns to offer the potential left foot, swinging in towards the back post.
It will be Eubank.
And here it is off the left foot of Eubank. First header won by Martelloni. And a chance maybe on the counter for the Profs. Alfred takes it wide. Now he has his head up. The run in behind from Gale. But Alfred dispossessed by Kane. And Davis couldn't keep it. Here's another chance for Gale. Eubank dealing with it. Rule there as well. Ferrara wins the header and Simon sends it down the field. Two number 5s come together there. Cleary wins the header over Agi. Maybe a Trinity throw as that ball heads out into the crowd, which continues to grow here on this Sunday evening. All the way back to Austin Willman, who's now conceded for the first time in 2022. Blanc, some time on the ball here, able to get his head up. This one into the channel for Meese, able to seal his defender. And he's darting into the penalty area now. Michael Meese will take the shot himself. No, cuts back and dumped to the turf. Referee says no penalty. Simon looking to keep the attack alive with a pair of challenges, but it's Yates who comes away with it.
I think the referee's given the wrong signal there because there's not a chance that he can say that he got the ball. I think maybe you could argue the ball was gone, but I don't think there's any part of that was ball first.
A good sign there for Meese, able to use his body well as he so often does and shield off Cleary, get wrong side of the back line. And suddenly you've got a first-team All-American bearing down on goal. Yeah,
if you, I think Meese will want that back. I think he'll want to have taken the shot a little bit earlier on his right foot. Cleary recovered pretty well. But if you're in that position as Meese, you've got to be getting a shot on target. And, he's so deadly in those positions that was a good chance for the Tigers to potentially restore parity here. But at the same time, you take the positive of the fact that Meese was able to get in and, spin away from Cleary with relative ease. And hopefully he'll be able to do that again.
Two profs challenging for the same ball in the air. Able to break for Alfred in any case, and it's a foot race now with Davis on the far side. Both players extremely quick. Davis back in defensive position, but Alfred able to blow past him. Now cutting onto his favored right foot. Across a little bit under hit from the Profs number 7. And it's Trinity who can go the other way. Agi. Ball into midfield for Burns. Hooks it in towards the path of Michael Meese, who won't give up on this one, all the way back to Kaplan.
I like the pressure Meese put on Kaplan there. Make him have to clear the ball. Don't give him an easy way out from the back.
And now time and space for Kyle Davis from right back. Take the early cross, and you saw what he was looking for between Kane and Meese. Last touch off Jack Eubank.
Rowan leads 1-0.
Acrobatic attempt at a clearance from Ferrara, senior from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. These two rosters constructed very differently. Rowan with just one player coming from outside of their home state of New Jersey. Of course, Trinity with plenty of international players and from all across the country.
Proves there's different ways to do it in D3 soccer.
And it's going to be a corner kick as Kane gets to the end line. And Martelloni puts it behind. First chance for Burns to measure the surface, and he'll go quickly. Eubank with time to send this one in, and Jake Simon again looking for 2-2. And that's a big chance.
That's an easier one than the one he scored last night. You just saw Jake Simon rise like the proverbial salmon at the back post there, and you really thought that was going to go in. I mean, he's done the right thing in heading it down, but he's almost headed it too far down, if that makes sense, and straight into the ground rather than a little bit closer to the goal line, which would have tested Kaplan a little bit harder, and that is a shocking decision from the referee to give a foul for that one by Jake Simon. And this is a look at this penalty shout again. I mean, that to me screams penalty, if we're completely honest. I didn't see a touch on the ball at all from Cleary's challenge on Meese. Admittedly, Meese's touch was a little bit big, but it did look like a leg stuck out. Meese goes over. I'm surprised to see the referee make the ball signal. I didn't think that was the right call in that situation.
Another foul from Simon against Ferrara.
And that one was, Jake's just a little bit late on that tackle there. Ferrara with quick feet, and again, we have to say it. This is a good Rowan team. They've been impressive here in the first 12 minutes. They've got their lead, and we've already seen them score from a set piece equivalent in the long throw. And so let's see now if they can do anything with the free kick service. Though they are leaving Meese seemingly one-on-one at the back.
Yeah, and
with,
Chad Yates,
Ferrara.
he was worried about it, wasn't he? He was trying to convince his coach that he should stay back. Instead, he goes forward, and he's looking to get on the end of this one. Maybe a chance for Cleary. He's able to keep it in play. Yes, he does. Settled now by Alfred, past the challenge of Instrel, and in behind for Yates. Chance from close range, parried away. The Profs looking to double the early advantage. And it's hands on head for the Rowan bench. They really thought they may have jumped out to an early 2-0 lead with that chance.
I'm really not sure how that didn't go in, if Willman got a touch on that or if it was off the post, but great ball in. Alfred has looked dangerous here early on, and I think he found Gale down the right-hand side. I think it was him who cut it back. We'll take a look at it on the replay, I'm sure, momentarily. But the Tigers there as Kyle Davis wins a free kick. Living dangerously in their own back third, and you have to say, if you are the Profs right now, you've got to feel pretty good about where you are. It looks like it did hit the woodwork there, the Caputo shot. Very, very close to being 2-0 to Rowan, and a big hole for the Tigers to try and dig out of.
Rule past the halfway line now for Eubank. Miscommunication. I think Burns thought that was intended for Meese. Meese thought it was intended for Burns. And it means that it'll be a Profs counter. Now halted now by an offside call against Michael Meese. There's a look at the foul against Davis moments ago.
That offside call is a strange one because Rowan had the ball and were moving forward. I'm really not sure why the referee and linesman decided to bring that back rather than allow Rowan to progress. Slightly unfortunate for the Profs in possession there, as Kyle Davis nips in ahead of Gale.
Back to Martelloni, who's got all kinds of time. Transfer from Manhattan College. Got into 12 games at the D1 level in 2021, but under 200 minutes total, so he was getting time off the bench, but not what he wanted, and now he finds himself a key contributor here for the Profs, just like we've seen with this man, Michael Meese, for Trinity. Instrel as well, coming from the D1 level and really getting to shine. This ball in behind for Ferrara. Well dealt with by Blanc, his opposite number 2, pokes it behind, and it'll be a Profs corner.
Credit to Rowan again. It's nice play down the right-hand side. The Tigers not quite holding it as well as they need to when they do win it back right now. Not really been able to build out in the last 5 minutes or so, as Rowan have had another period of pressure here, and it will lead to this this dangerous corner.
See the 4 targets spread out just inside the penalty area. Trinity zonal marking, and it's JC Rule who rises high enough to get it. Meese will flick it on. Instrel momentarily the furthest forward. That's a good weight on the pass and behind for Adji. Adji all alone in the attack. Miscue from Yates. Perhaps fortunate that didn't put Adji in behind on goal.
And guess who was there to save the day? It was the goal scorer, David Caputo. I mean, credit to him, because Adji is absolutely rapid, as that's a foul on Jake Simon from Chad Yates. And it's going to be a yellow card for his second foul early on here, sharing a laugh with the referee. I don't think the referee finds it that funny. And that's a yellow card for Chad Yates, the captain, which could be something to watch. I mean, in these early games, all it takes is a little bit of fatigue and a slightly late challenge and a second yellow, and that could be problematic for Rowan moving forward, with that yellow card coming after just 15 minutes.
And not only that, but probably their best player, the one they look to put in those crucial challenges in midfield. He won't be able to do so with the same level of freedom now on a yellow, as Eubank sends this one in. It's a great ball in, and it's Michael Meese with the equalizer.
What a header, son. Credit Jack Eubank there with an absolutely fantastic cross from that wand of a left foot that he's got. But Michael Meese beats his man in the air, and a fantastic downward header. Kaplan has absolutely no chance. And there is palpable relief here, as the Tigers have managed to get back level early. This has by no means been one-way traffic whatsoever, but Rowan have started really well. Tigers have had a couple of chances, and now they've made it pay. Fantastic assist from Jack Eubank. And Michael Meese has his second of the season.
JC Rule picks up the second assist on that one as well. His first. And Michael Meese continues to score over a goal a game in a Trinity shirt. Absolutely unreal levels of production.
I don't know if you noticed that. That was really interesting. Rowan kind of ran a kickoff play there, which is not something you see very often. They had 5 or 6 players all sprint to the left-hand side of the centre circle, and then it was launched forward, I think by Martelloni, perhaps by Cleary, by one of the centre-backs. And, it didn't lead to anything, but it's interesting that Rowan have seen maybe, the chance for an immediate counterpunch with a kickoff play. But here's Burns in the midfield for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see that more and more at all levels, using the kickoff as a set piece, just like a throw-in, just like a free kick. And that's well spotted by you there, Callum. The Profs have proven they're adept at set pieces. All 3 of their goals this weekend have come from set piece opportunities, as Adji blows past Yates, repelled by Chad Yates. And Gale shielded off it by Burns.
I think that's the first misplaced pass Instrel has had in 2 days, but he's been put under way more pressure here early on than he was last night. And Instrel just making sure that he gets his foot on the ball and finding a nice pass out to Jack Eubank there.
You get the feeling the Profs watching how Trinity played yesterday. Mistake on the screen right now. It is 1-1 here, as Burns makes his way into the box looking for 2-1. Instrel takes the shot. Bounces out to Simon. Eubank in some space here on the near side. The cross under hit. And Eubank chasing Ferrara, who launches it ahead. Rule across to Blanc. Blanc thought about the diagonal, and now he will spread the play here for Jack Eubank. Excellent first touch out of the air. Now he's all tangled up with Barreto.
Oh, he's done brilliantly.
Poked in behind for Kane inside the penalty area. Cut back cross, and Burns with the strike. And the deflection takes it into the net. Trinity from behind to in front here in a matter of moments.
Fraser Burns, what a time to pop up with your first of the season. It's taken a couple of deflections, no doubt, but Fraser's going to claim this. 2 deflections there. It goes in, I think, off Cleary in the end. But Fraser Burns has his goal, and the Tigers have turned it around in double quick time here. Superb play again from Jack Eubank down the left-hand side. And Fraser Burns gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead that, to be fair, Rowan will feel absolutely stunned that they find themselves on the end of a deficit here after this opening 18 minutes. But this is shaping up to be one hell of a game. Reminds me a little bit of the classic Trinity Chicago game that we had a few years ago back in 2018. That was end-to-end all night. And 2-1 to the Tigers. I know the scoreboard currently says 2-2. We are working on some scoreboard issues here today. But it is 2-1 Trinity here with 18 minutes played.
And immediately looking to respond, Yates pokes it forward. Out to Gale on the far side. Yates able to battle it past Simon, but not past Instrel, who retains possession for Trinity. And Adji now with some space to roam down the center channel.
Oh, that's unfortunate there, because if you watch that play, Adji was running at Yates, and Yates knew he couldn't make a challenge because he's already on the yellow card. And in actual fact, he didn't make a challenge. Adji tripped on the ball and he went down, and that's unlucky that Yates has been fouled, given a foul has been given against Yates there, because Adji had just accidentally tripped himself. But you think now, back to that chance that Caputo had to maybe go 2-0, hit the post, and all of a sudden, the Profs find themselves 2-1 down in what has been a very helter-skelter first 20 minutes here.
And a chance on the counterattack. Numbers streaming forward in brown and gold. This one in behind for Ferrara. The pace of Rule is sufficient to cover.
That's great covering speed from JC Rule. That's exactly why you have the speed at the back there, the safety valve, and enables the Tigers to cover off that attempted counterattack as they were looking to find Ferrara in behind.
And I think what we've seen over the 2 games is Trinity a lot more comfortable defending 30, 40 yards from their own goal than they are in their own penalty area. Not often are they forced into doing those last-ditch defensive actions. We know JC Rule can put in a terrific slide tackle, but much of his play is going to be closer to the halfway line. And yesterday, Trinity just allowing 2 shots, 1 on target against Claremont Mud Scripps. The early effort for Rowan put them ahead here, and Trinity looked a little bit unsure in their own penalty area. But defending against counterattacks is JC Rule in the back line's bread and butter. Whistle goes against Blanc there for a little shove in the back. Salazar Escobar checks short, and he's actually going to take it. Picked up an assist yesterday, and I thought he was really impressive at the base of the midfield, and that double pivot alongside Yates really allowed the Profs to control the game and pick up a couple of set-piece goals against Southwestern, who, as you mentioned, tough to beat in any situation. Eubank with the defensive header. Simon, 2 chances to clear it. Eubank now hooks it forward. Burns, another excellent first touch, plucks it out of the sky. Wide for Kane. Kane past 3 defenders. They're all afraid to put a foot in as Kane cuts onto his right foot. Spreads the play wide now for Adji. Adji cuts back, and the chance had gone by the time he swung a left foot at it.
Yeah, he's just got to take that shot a little second earlier there. It was fantastic work from Hunter Kane. Looks like Fraser Burns might have a little bit of an issue down here below us, which is a concern for the Tigers. But it was absolutely great work initially from Burns to bring the ball out of the sky, feed Hunter Kane, who then went on his slaloming run.
And it is going to be Burns out of the game. Knutson, who we saw deputized very effectively in midfield yesterday, the freshman, going to get a chance here with 25 minutes remaining in the half. And big shoes to fill. I mean, Burns has been excellent for both last night's match and early in this game. See if Knutson can bring that same level of industry and decisiveness we saw from him yesterday in his debut.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Burns, honestly. You know, he's been fantastic so far. Getting 2 assists last night, the goal tonight, and, really looking lively. Every time the ball goes in the air, he seems to be able to caress it out of the sky with ultimate ease. Tough one for him to take there, being out with this apparent injury. But Knutson had a really nice appearance last night as in his debut, and I think he's someone who the Tiger fans will look forward to seeing more of over not just tonight, but the rest of his years as a Tiger. And we should just reiterate that the score, despite what it says on your screen, is Trinity 2, Rowan 1. We are working on getting our scoreboard fixed right now.
And interesting with Burns going out as this one's in behind for Ferrara. The back line caught out as Alex Ferrara now buried down on goal, and what a save from Willman. As Rule sliding challenge, perhaps put the forward player off. But Willman called into action just as he was early in the game last night, and he was able to parry it wide. Terrific sprawling save here from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Ferrara does honestly everything right, and he takes it early because he can feel the challenge of JC Rule coming. And credit to Willman, who, when he's been called on in the last 2 nights, has really stepped up and made the saves that you need as a Trinity fan him to make. He couldn't really do anything about the 1 goal that Rowan have scored here, the scramble from a long throw. But credit Austin Willman there with a fantastic save to keep the Tigers ahead.
And that'll be the last action of the first half for Ferrara as he's quickly replaced. Big header won by Simon there from the corner. And here's Yates with the drive. And Willman diving to his left, able to palm it into the path of Wilby Alfred, who was offside. Seen the technique of Chad Yates, able to strike the ball into the top corner yesterday. And this one was destined for that same part of the net. But Willman sent sprawling. 2 quick saves, 2 excellent saves in rapid succession.
100%. You can see why Yates is so important to this Rowan team and why he's such a good player. That was really impressive to wrap his foot around that and, you know, pivot his hips and be able to get the power that he generated there towards the back post. And Willman, you know, equal to it again, which is a great sign for the Tigers. But you can understand why Yates is so important to this this prof side.
Early touch for Knutson. End of the game for Fraser Burns, the goal scorer. Came up injured moments ago. Blanc, time and space on the ball. The pass to Rule, a little bit under hit, and Caputo looking to profit from it. Back to Barreto, and Rule makes up for the mistake, puts it out for a throw.
Yeah, it's a good recovery, JC Rule. I mean, you know, the Tigers are going to try and play their football at the back. They have to be careful because Rowan do have the ability to press high and are not giving the Tigers a whole lot of time at the back.
And interesting, a lot of times you see a team very predictable in their press, as this one sent in towards Wilby Alfred. And a physical battle with Eubank, and it's Alfred who's able to keep possession. Good work from the number 7, still keeping this one alive. As he cuts onto his left foot, he has the strike, it's deflected. And Willman didn't know much about it as J.C. Rule puts it out for a throw.
Yeah, I think that actually struck David Caputo. And weirdly, ended up kind of ricocheting around. No one's sure what's happened, and it looks like it's another long throw here for the Profs. And we know what happened the first time round is 4 Trinity subs set to check in here. And as we said, probably a lot more legs used today than were last night.
See if Trinity can make amends defending the throw here. Very similar setup to how they defend a corner. Just need someone to take initiative and get this one clear. But it's into the danger area, and it's Wilby Alfred with the equalizer. Now it is 2-2 as the Profs strike back.
And it's another set piece that's undone the Tigers here, and we said it was shaping up to be a classic, and it's 2-2. Austin Willman there. That looks like a bit of a push, but he's come and he's not got there. And Wilby Alfred has put it in. And as much as we've been praising Austin Willman, that's a tough one for him to take, as Rowan managed to get level after 25 minutes here. We'll run you through the Trinity changes as they come here. It looks like Rowan have made one as well. But what a first 25 minutes we've had. 2 set-piece goals for Rowan. Could have had another one. They hit the post. The Tigers could have had one from Jake Simon and got 2 from Meeson Burns. And we're all square again with 20 minutes to play in the first half.
And credit to Rowan. I mean, they're being resourceful. We see how much time they put into set pieces, long throws, free kicks. And now the 4 goals we've seen from them here at Paul McGinley Field this weekend have all come from set pieces, 3 of them coming from long throws.
And a really important thing here for Austin Willman is to shake that off as quickly as possible. You know, there definitely was a nudge on him. You could see it on the replay. There was definitely a nudge. I think if we had the video assistant referee system that has been so strangely used in the Premier League this weekend, we might have seen an overturn and a potential foul on Willman, but it wasn't enough to be egregious enough to draw the referee's attention. And, you know, the Rowan Profs benefit from it. So Willman needs to shake that off as quickly as he can and just make sure that he's ready to keep making the saves that he's been making all weekend.
I think it'll be easier just to read off the current Trinity 11 at the next break in play, as there have been so many changes in the wake of that goal. Jarrett, one of the new players out on the field, commits the foul. So he's the left back. Jesus Velos makes his season debut as the right back for Trinity. The center back partnership remains the same with Rule and Blanc. Instrel now sitting at the base of midfield with Luke Newport and Adam Knutson. Connor Jones playing off the right wing. Hunter Ken keeps his place on the left. And Michael Meese remains up front at the first Trinity goal in this game.
Yeah, Veloz and Jones on that right-hand side, you know, give some new legs to the Tigers, and that'll be good for them. It looks like a substitution here, potentially. Martelloni, or is he just having to change his shirt?
Looks like the shirt ripped in that latest tangle with Ty Jarrett, and so Martelloni now going to wear the number 30 as he puts on the extra kit instead of his usual number 20.
That's going to upset head coach Scott Baker. That's another hit to the budget.
Looks like 39 he's now wearing. Definitely the reserve jersey they didn't expect anybody to be wearing. That's Martelloni himself who sends it long. Yates challenging for it, tangled up with Newport. Alfred, who's got his first goal of the season after leading the Profs last year with 8. Chad Yates, second in the goal-scoring chart with 5, and 5 assists as well to lead the team. Those are the two to watch, and they've both impressed here early in this game. Also a special shout for Luke Yates, who's provided the long throw that has led to both Profs' goals. There's 2 more changes coming for the brown and gold. Michael Ferrara and Cole Heyman. Heyman started the opening game for the Profs, now off the bench for both games here in San Antonio. Goals from Caputo and Alfred for Rowan. Meese and Burns for Trinity. And we're square at 2 apiece. Counting down towards 17 minutes to go here in the opening 45.
You don't see many times that it's 2-2 in the first half at Paul McGinley Field. You know, credit to both these teams for playing some good attacking football. Referee, probably the least said about the referee, the better right now. But it's a free kick to the Profs. And number 12, Jake Logar, not very happy with David Caputo there, potentially accidentally getting in the way and stopping him from taking it early. And then number 39, wearing Martelloni, puts it straight out of play, and the Tigers have a chance to get forward again.
Yeah, interesting to see Logar coming back in, the senior captain from Sewell, New Jersey. Don't believe we saw him yesterday. I'll check and confirm that.
Great touch from Instraw in the middle there. He's just so cool under pressure, but then commentator's curse, he gives the ball straight away.
Caputo, some good footwork to turn away from Knutson. Jesus Velos puts his foot through it, and that one goes all the way through to Kaplan. So confirmation, Logar did not play yesterday against Southwestern. So good to see one of the captains returning to the lineup for Rowan. Jones trying to put the pressure on high up the field. As Logar drops it back for Martelloni. Puts his foot through it. Linesman's flag points the direction of the brown and gold. Miscue there from Logar. It remains with the Profs on the far side. Caputo with a darting run towards the corner flag. Blanc across for company, and Blanc puts it out for a throw. And who else but Luke Yates going to line this one up?
Yeah, if ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, obviously, the Profs have found success from this situation, largely on the other side, but Yates is going to reload and try again. And if you're the Tigers, you've got to make sure you get the first contact on this throw. You've got to win the first header, and then the second ball has to go out as quickly as possible.
Here's Yates offering in towards the near post, flicked on once again and bouncing around in the area. Alfred never able to get his shot away. And here's Kane onto a back pass that was under hit, and surely we'll see Caputo into the book here. He's going to escape without a yellow card to his name, stopping the counter and coming from behind.
When you consider what Yates got a yellow card for, I'm astounded that that's not one as well.
See if perhaps there's a foot on the ball.
No, there's nothing. It's on the back leg of Hunter Kane, who's leading the counter attack. And yeah, I appreciate there's other defenders around, but I think it's fair to say that perhaps the referee has not had his greatest half so far, as Luke Newport is pressured from behind by the aforementioned Yates.
And Yates continues his energetic play on both sides of the ball, despite the yellow card that you mentioned he picked up early in this game. And this one in behind for Alfred. The flag goes up, and we'll have to see the replay to see if the linesman got that one correct. Very close decision as the two danger men for the Profs looking to connect.
They've got that speed in behind. There is the threat. I think he was just offside, but the appeal from Peter Blanc thankfully agreed to by the linesman for the Tigers' sake, because Alfred looking dangerous again, trying to get people in behind.
Meese able to stop the clearance.
It's quick, it's their advantage.
Chance for Yates to take a throw once again. This one much closer to his own goal. And Velos caught wrong side of Jake Logar, who's battling to try and win it back. Knutson shows good strength to keep it. Good first touch from Meese, who's now barging towards the goal, slaloming through a few defenders, and he's come up holding his ankle and waving over towards the bench. That'll be a huge concern to Coach McGinley and the Tigers.
And there was absolutely a foul on Mies there, contact on his ankle, and perhaps sportingly and perhaps because they realised that the Profs stopping play as Ryan Cleary directs the players to kick the ball out, and Mies is potentially in a little bit of pain here.
Both teams going to take the opportunity for an impromptu water break as the referee in conversation with Michael Mies. And we'll see if the Tigers are readying a change. We saw both Philip Joignes and Michael Somerville off the bench get some time at the 9 yesterday. Somerville particularly lively, I thought, in his cameo late in the second half. But it looks like it will be Joignes pulling the number 7 shirt on.
Yeah, and Duenas and Somerville both offer something slightly different to one another, but both have proven, threat in front of goal and could get the Tigers back the advantage. In fact, it looks like it might indeed be Somerville.
So Duenas sent back down to go warm up, although Hunter Kane's played every minute of this game so far, so he's most likely to be replaced soon as well. But it will be Somerville for Mies, who's just out there hobbling right now. Referee playing advantage. Mies finding second and third gear. Knutson puts it in behind, and Michael Mies onto it. And we'll see if it was Mies' final touch. It was. Goal kick.
It's nice from Knutson, though, finding the pass in behind. And Mies looks like he is going to be replaced momentarily here, but just kind of stretching on that. I think it took a nick off a Rowan player on its way over, but it's good that Knutson's trying to find Mies in behind there as the Tigers continue to nick the ball high. I think it was Luke Newport there who won it off Cole Heyman, and I think Heyman was a little bit lucky to escape a yellow card for his foul as well. I think the advantage maybe wiped it from the referee's mind.
Yeah, and perhaps better to see that Michael Mies still able to get up in the gears, get up to full speed. Of course, when you're a striker and you see the ball put in behind, you're not going to think about the injury that you may have just picked up. Mies still looking a little bit hobbled out there, as Rule able to win it back from Alfred. And the pause as the referee looks over towards the linesman, now pointing the Prof's direction, and Somerville will have to wait. Good play through the midfield. Here's Caputo. Ball ricochets off of J.C. Rule. Veloz to retrieve it. Wide for Connor Jones, who's dropped deep to try and help the build. But Instill dispossessed on the pass under hit that time.
A little bit of a hospital pass there as the ball now goes in towards Yates again.
And Yates drags the shot just wide of goal. Huge opportunity as, again, it was Alfred causing the problems. Yates there to pick it up and fire it goalwards. Unlucky not to potentially have the lead for the Profs. Have a look at it again as you see Alfred's just got Blanc pinned, and the shot rolling just wide off the weaker left foot of Chad Yates.
Yeah, there's been a couple of ricochets that have kind of fallen in favor of the Profs. Obviously it's just pure chance which way those go. And like you think of leading to the first goal, the ricochet off Alfred that led to the Caputo finish. There's a foul there on Luke Newport by Caputo. And just there again, a little ricochet off the foot of Blanc, and then all of a sudden, it's a chance for the Profs.
And a giveaway in midfield as Ferrara pokes it wide for Yates. Those two names you can just get used to saying with this team, 2 Yates and then a pair of Ferrara twins. Here's a good run into midfield, well spotted by Newport, and in behind for Michael Somerville to chase. Somerville not quite able to match the pace of Michael Mies, but that one I think overhit for either of the two Mikes.
Yeah, but nice runs though, and it's interesting. Newport and Knutson look identical. And not sure exactly who's who when they're on the ball, but both of them have done really well carrying it forward and trying to find the runners in behind. Somerville and Kane, have pace, and JC Rule's going to be tested here by Alfred. That's got to be a foul. Ref, that is an absolutely shocking decision, to be completely honest, as Alfred has barreled into JC Rule and the referee has given a foul to the Profs.
And this one in shooting distance, just at the very edge of Yates' range.
I mean, if you look here, Rule's watching the ball the entire time and Alfred has just fallen into him. I mean, I don't want to be horrible, but it's an abomination of a decision.
If Yates was thinking about a shot, he's getting some signals from the bench to set something up from the training ground, and Trinity need to stay switched on here.
Well, Ari Barreto is wide open on the right-hand side. Ty Jarrett is trying to have a look at this. Looks like a training ground. Players, 4 Rowan profs around the ball.
3 at the back post.
Willman needs to be aware.
And it's Yates who takes the drive. That one comfortable, though, for Willman. A lot of smoke and mirrors and what ended up a tame effort.
Yeah, it's a weird one. They're trying to distract the keeper with the movement, thinking that maybe there'll be a cross into the box, and instead they go for the shot to the near post. As Somerville and Kane both combined to take out Martelloni there. But I was going to say it's really good for Austin Willman to get that save under his belt. You know, not the hardest shot by any means to save, but after the goal that made it 2-2 and a slight error on his part, it's nice that he's been able to get his hands on the ball again and feel comfortable.
Trinity putting the pressure on higher up the field, and the Profs going long. Jarrett wins the header. Newport tripped up, and it'll be a Profs throw. Last touch off the number 13. Barreto takes the throw. Good work from Logar there, stooping low to nod it towards a teammate. Alfred post up a pair of Trinity Tigers. Didn't get to see a lot out of Wilby Alfred yesterday, dealing with the extreme height of the Southwestern back line. But he certainly made his presence felt. Got the goal, obviously, from the scramble following a long throw, but he's really occupied both Rule and Blanc pretty well here in the first half.
Yeah, he's a real handful. You can see he's got size, he's got strength. And, you know, he's powerful, and he's done really well so far. You know, took his goal well. You've got to be alive as a striker in that 6-yard box. And, you know, it's a scramble and a header just to nod it over the line. And they all count the same. Credit to Wilby Alfred for his performance so far. He's been a key part of this impressive Profs first half.
Here's another Yates long throw sent in towards the near post. This time Trinity do win the first header for, feels like the first time. And the clearance finds Michael Somerville going the other way. White jersey streaming forward to provide some support. But it's good defending for the Profs, only for the moment, though, as they turn it over. And here's Jones into the penalty area. This one flashes across goal. Deflected behind for a corner. Good work on the counter there from a few of the Trinity substitutes.
I think that was probably actually a goal kick, so the ref's continuing his consistency of getting everything wrong. But it's a nice little move here from the Tigers, and Jones is just in behind and just doesn't quite get enough on it. Slightly weird angle that he's hit that, and that's hard for a right footer trying to sweep that into the far corner. But the Tigers will benefit from the decision. It looks like Louis Instraw will take this corner, although it looks like we do have an injury perhaps for the Profs, and that looks like Martelloni, who's down.
So Dueñas in for Hunter Kane on the Trinity side, and Gil Ferreira in to spell Wilby Alfred leading the line for the Profs. Everybody back up on their feet. As Trinity ready the corner, Instraw raises one arm into the sky. And here comes the end swinging service towards the back post over everybody's head. Helped back into the danger area, and here comes the shot from the edge of the area for Knutson. And battle for possession right on the halfway line. Rule had it for a moment, still harried by Caputo. Like, good work from JC Rule to keep that one. And here's Knutson again. This time he turns it over, and Ferreira able to turn. No brown and gold up to help him, and he goes for the ill-advised and the spectacular there, trying to chip Willman, who was only a few yards off his line.
Yeah, if I'm Austin Willman there, I'm just a little bit offended, to be completely honest, by that attempt. But you can't blame the striker for having a go. I mean, at the end of the day, if Rowan can nick a lead before half-time, however it comes about, they will feel great about themselves. I mean, you know, right now I just think it's worth reiterating how good a game this has been after 40 minutes. You know, 2-2, end-to-end, both teams with chances, both teams with good play. And, you know, credit to both teams so far for an entertaining encounter.
Something else to point out, Jones has come onto the left side with Dueñas coming in. He's taken up the right wing position, either side of Michael Somerville. Dueñas wins the free kick.
There was 2 fouls in quick succession there from Jake Logar, one on Dueñas, and then he got up and immediately fouled Knutson as well. So the Tigers now have another chance to load the box. We spoke earlier about Fraser Burns' delivery, and let's see what Jesus Veloz can cook up here from a kind of deep right position.
Instraw the only one to stay back for Trinity. Everybody else in search of a go-ahead goal as we take just under 5 minutes to go. Here it comes off the right foot of Jesus Veloz. Knutson at the top of the box, able to keep it alive. Pokes it wide for Dueñas. Cuts back onto his left. And just too many bodies in brown and gold there for the Tigers to navigate. Two players quickly closing down Veloz. Has to be careful, and he does well under
really
pressure.
Well. Really well there, Jesus Veloz.
And Newport spreads it across for Jarrett, who was lively off the bench, spelling Jack Eubank yesterday. Fierce competition for the left back spot as Jarrett's come along really nicely now in his second year in the program. Good ball down the line for Jones. Takes it on the left foot in towards the back post, and Dueñez was going for the diving header for the spectacular. Never reached him. Jarrett keeps the live at the edge of the area. Now Dueñez fighting for it on the far side.
Dueñez does well here to keep it in. We're looking at the replay of Dueñez's diving header there, but the Tigers are keeping it in, though it does break here on the edge of the box to Chad Yates, and the Profs look to counter right here towards the end of the first half. Ferreira in behind.
And the flag does go up a little bit belatedly. As for a mistime the run, often see Yates popping up in front of the right back, and that's the immediate key for the striker to get in behind. Ferreira on reading from the same playbook as Alfred was for the opening 40 minutes.
Yeah, Ferreira trying to make an impact here. You know, he's had that long shot, trying to get in behind and see if Rowan can steal the lead back here.
Here's Blanc. This one sent in towards Connor Jones. And Knutson with the drive from distance, and that's spectacular! How about that from Knutson? His first Trinity goal to give the Tigers the lead here on the stroke of halftime. And that may well stand up as goal of the season.
What did that?
A strike of pure instinct here from Knutson as the ball falls onto his right foot. Center backs couldn't deal with it. Knutson gets the dip, and the two-time high school All-American with an instant impact here at the collegiate level.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Dare I say, remember the name, Adam Knutson. What a goal from the youngster. Unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. Honestly, the audacity to be willing to take that shot on here. You know, first weekend of collegiate soccer for the guy who scored over 80 goals, we said, in his high school career. He's a proven goal scorer, and with shots like that, you see why, and out of seemingly nothing, as the game looked to be meandering towards a 2-2 tie at half-time, the Tigers snatch back the lead 3-2 as we take another look here as the ball flying into the net. Kaplan, no chance whatsoever. And Adam Knutson, take a bow, son. Unbelievable.
And now Trinity want to see this one out, get to halftime with this 3-2 lead, or perhaps eyes on more as Jones lifts it towards Somerville, and it breaks back for Connor Jones. Knocks this one in behind, looking to stretch his legs and get beyond Martelloni. Knutson bypassed that time by Barreto, the right back coming inside. Drops off for Yates, who's a right footer, plays at left back, and now he's onto his favored right foot as he makes his way into midfield. Yates tripped up by Newport. Five first half goals. Some spectacular ones in there for Trinity. Some resourceful ones in there for the Profs, who, having taken a 1-0 lead and then quickly found themselves down 2-1, now again find themselves down 3-2. It's been seesawing back and forth here in San Antonio.
It's been an unbelievable half of football. You know, we've had almost everything, and you know, credit to the Tigers for finding a way to be resilient. You know, it's very easy when you concede an early goal to get a little bit shell-shocked and potentially have some issues to come with that. The Tigers have fought back to find the lead, then suffered the setback of an equalizer, and now again discovering the lead again right before half-time. I mean, the Adam Knutson goal speaks for itself. It's unbelievable. But from start to finish here, what a game, and just pure entertainment for any neutrals out there. I suspect that we've got more fans that lean one way or the other watching the stream rather than neutrals, but it's been a brilliant game to watch.
Somerville looking for something here as we approach a minute to go in the half. Knutson joining him as he reaches the edge of the box, and this one out for a corner, and one last chance here in these opening 45 minutes for Trinity, perhaps to go into the break with a doubled lead.
Yeah, and Ty Jarrett should be taking all the time in the world here. There's no need to serve this too quickly.
Ends up going short, and Knutson lifts this one towards the back post. Jones thought about the spectacular, and Blanc caught it on the volley.
you saw Connor Jones wanted to try the overhead kick, and I think at the corner of his eye he saw Peter Blanc coming in a slightly better position. But this is why I said there was no need to hurry. Now Rowan have 30 seconds to attempt a potential counterpunch here, when in reality that corner probably should have been the last play of the first half.
Ferreira gets a flick to it, and Dueñas tracking back, nearly left it short of Veloz. But Trinity should be able to just see this one out. Launched in behind for Somerville. And looks like the buzzer will sound with Trinity in front 3-2. A fantastic first half of action here from Paul McGinley Field. Take you quickly through the totals. 10 shots apiece, 4 shots on target apiece. Trinity largely controlling the possession throughout, but Rowan resourceful from the set pieces. They got out to an early lead in the 5th minute. David Caputo assisted by Wilby Alfred. Trinity responding in the 16th minute. Michael Meese on the board, courtesy of Jack Eubank and John Connor Rule. And then Trinity took the lead for the first time in this game. Fraser Burns, his shot deflected into the net, assisted by Hunter Kane and Jack Eubank. Rowan able to strike back in the 25th. Wilby Alfred assisted by Logar and Luke Yates. And then the spectacular goal to conclude the half was Adam Knutson. Those stats on your screen not quite correct. I read it off to you. 10 shots, 4 on target apiece, 6 fouls apiece. All the stats reading similar. Callum, how are you reading this game so far?
It's just a great game, start to finish. It's been fantastic. Credit to the Tigers for fighting back from the early deficit, but let's make sure we give Rowan the plaudits they need for creating a really great game here, and can't wait to see how this concludes.
15 minutes until we're back underway here from Paul McGinley Field. Ryan Fingert and Callum Squires excited to take you through 45 more minutes of what has so far been exhilarating Division III action. Trinity in front 3-2, and we will be right back. All set to get back underway here for the second 45. If you missed the first half, definitely go back and watch it later. It was a fantastic display from both sides, really. Trinity coming out on top 3-2. Goals scored by Caputo in the 5th minute, Mies in the 16th, Burns in the 19th, Alfred responding to tie it up in the 25th minute, and Adam Knutson, who took the place of the injured Fraser Burns and keeps his place here to start the second half. The fantastic volley from outside of the box to give Trinity the lead here at home, looking to move to 2-0 here in the early season. And looks like a couple of changes, including Jack Downs in to start the second half. And on the Rowan side, the imposing figure of Turlo Gartland, standing at 6'5", now comes in at the base of the midfield for Salazar Escobar. Pham playing it right back now for Trinity, sends this one down the line. Looks like Jack Downs playing in front of him as the right winger, battling here with Yates, and Downs is able to get on the wrong side of Yates. Trying to win a corner here as Yates dropped the shoulder. It'll be a goal kick.
That's positive from Jack Downs there as he started the second half here on the right-hand side. Like we said, some fresh faces for the Tigers, including Riley Hawes in the midfield as well, as the Tigers kind of rolling the dice, getting some fresh legs on. Michael Pham, right back. We saw he was exceptional in the second half last night, being able to push on forward. And I think if you're the Tigers, the next goal is crucial in this game. You get it, and you're in a really strong position as Knutson continues to push forward here.
Knutson looking for Michael Mies that time, and it never reached the Trinity striker. Now there's 3 in the attack for the Profs. That one cannons off the backside of Alfred, but still the chance potentially for Ryan Gale. That one overhit. Looks like Gale and Ferrara either side of Alfred. And Caputo playing as the number 10 for Rowan in their 4-2-3-1. Plenty of changes, including Kyle Davis coming back in, but as a center back now, alongside J.C. Rollblanc, staying on the bench here to start the second half.
I think part of that is Kyle Davis' ability in the air. He's got a great spring. For someone who isn't the tallest player in the squad, he's got a great spring, able to win headers from the throw-ins and corners that have threatened from the Profs. But, for the Tigers, they're just continuing to play their game, though. You've got to be careful not to get caught on the break like they almost were there just a couple of minutes ago.
All 4 goals this weekend so far for Rowan coming from set pieces. They've certainly threatened in moments on the counter, and if nothing else, they're looking to win those opportunities from the dead ball. Once possession turns over, and they go quickly. If you missed the first half, you're wondering who number 39 is. It's Mason Martelloni, center back for the Profs. Had his jersey ripped in the first half, usually number 20 now, wearing 39. He spreads it across here for Cleary. Cleary into the channel for Ryan Gale to chase. Gale matched up here with Kyle Davis, who quits himself well and is tripped up by the first-year forward. Willman goes long. A midfield at the moment for Trinity of 3 newcomers this season, as Alfred has a drive from distance, comfortable for Willman. The 3 newcomers that I highlighted in my match notes, actually, Hawes, Knutson, and Instraw, all patrolling the center of the park for Coach McGinley right now. You surprised that at least one of the players hasn't had experience in the Trinity shirt so far?
Potentially, but equally, we've spoken about where Instraw has come from. From the D1 level at Marshall, and he's been able to play at that high level. He's certainly experienced. But as far as Hawes and Knutson go, they're highly touted high school recruits. Both of them clearly have an eye for goal. Hawes had 21 goals for Marshall in 2021, excuse me. And so, there's a lot of talent in that midfield 3, as the Tigers are really looking for, the 4th goal in this game that would be potentially pivotal. That's lovely from Knutson.
Knutson pivoting and now arriving on the edge of the penalty area, poked away from him, back to the goalkeeper. Kaplan deals with it, passes off the ticking time bomb to Martelloni, who's able to draw the foul, and you had a good angle there from our camera on the sideline. Hunter Kane not in agreement with the decision.
The referee is continuing his performance so far.
Rule able to win the first header. Instraw in search of the second ball. This one cleared away by Kyle Davis. Knutson can't dispossess Ferrara, now brings it into the Trinity half. Pham, who we saw deputize it right back yesterday. Playing to the right of Kyle Davis right now is a turnover in midfield from Hawes. And Rule on hand to put out the fire. Now drive forward and start the counter himself. He's in to the Rowan half. Ball ahead into the feet of Michael Meese. Dropped off for Kane. Nifty footwork from the second-year winger from Katy, Texas. Kane looking to get to the end line. Cuts back now. All tangled up.
Just outnumbered.
Martelloni, yeah.
Just outnumbered. Martelloni having some help, and Kane, showing his exceptional pace and skill with running with the ball, but not quite able to find the opening he needed. And he was lacking a little bit of support. I mean, Meese played the layoff, and there wasn't really a third-man runner there for Kane, so not perhaps a surprise that he lost it. But Jack Downs here looking in behind for Meese. Perhaps a hopeful ball there.
Yeah, you get the feeling with so many changes, this Trinity 11 trying to come to terms with where everybody's going to be in support of each other. A lot of individual quality that hasn't necessarily played in these positions or together so far. So there may be a period here as we're 5 minutes into the second half of just feeling that out. Here's Eubank. Now up to assist on the season. 3, actually, after he's got 2 in this game, and that flurry of 2 goals in the first half. Picking up where he left off in 2021. Here's Hawes pivoting and stepping past Caputo off the outside of the right foot, looking for the run of Michael Meese. And here's the header again towards Meese, takes it on the left foot. Can't keep possession. Coach McGinley describing to me Riley Hawes as a player. Sees a lot of Joe Curry in him. Joe Curry currently out with an injury for Trinity. Haven't seen him in this opening weekend, but in his ability to provide that composure in the box, the goal-scoring threat from midfield, and the energy so often required in midfield areas. And you see Knutson taking the place of Fraser Burns, each of those 2 with a goal in this game. And you see how Trinity are already building towards the future despite having such a deep squad this year.
Luke, you gotta be able to defend.
Luke Yates had gone on a foray forward from left back, and you heard the coaching staff make sure that he realized that he is the left back. So he's now back in a defensive position to deal with Jack Downs. Forward for Haas, steps around Yates. Does well to keep possession, pokes it towards Enstrol. Good combination with Knutson. Enstrol puts this one in behind. Hunter Kane with some time, able to measure the cross in towards the back post for Jack Downs. Plucks it out of the sky, and the effort deflected into the path of Knutson. Cleared off the line. Terrific save. It looked like from Kaplan, and a scramble in his goal mouth. Trinity still just in front by 1. A huge chance there.
Yeah, I think Kaplan's done really well, to be completely honest. We're going to get a look at the replay here. Great ball in towards the back post. And Jack Downs, I think he did the right thing in trying to take a touch, and just slightly unlucky that it bounced a little bit away from him. A blocked shot. Knutson's chasing it, gets a toe on it, and it is Kaplan again who flies out really well there to make a good save. Unlucky for the Tigers. That was a nice opportunity. Knutson getting another shot on target, but not quite able to force it over the line. And the Tigers' lead remains 3-2.
Yeah, and something to keep an eye on. Luke Yates caught wrong side of Jack Downs there just after his coach was admonishing him for making sure he had his defensive position right. We've seen his quality on the ball, and of course with the throw-ins leading to 2 assists in this game. He's a very adventurous left back, and he's caught out here once again as Enstrol skips past him. Fires it into the channel for Michael Meese. Michael Meese at full pelt down the right wing. Good work that time from Ryan Cleary. Meese appealing for a corner. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, I think the linesman actually did get that one right. I think that was off Michael Meese, and actually a pretty good challenge from Cleary, to be fair to him, in chasing back the very speedy and dangerous Meese and preventing the corner.
Yates, his head up, looking for Gale. Gale looking tired there. It's been a tireless runner over the course of this weekend. 2 games in back-to-back days. Didn't quite show that initial burst that we've seen from him even early in this one.
And the 3rd game in 4 days as well, it must be said, for Rowan. So you may see, Coach Scott Baker going to his bench a little bit earlier and a little bit more often in this second half, based on, fatigue is obviously going to develop here late on in, a very intense weekend for the Rowan Profs.
Davis picks it up, able to get his head up, finds Jack Downs. Dropped off for Pham. Good combination up the right. Hawes can't skip past Gartland. A huge size disparity between Trinity's attacking midfield and Turlo Gartland, a 6'5" sophomore. Got some time at the end of the game yesterday. Currently in place of Nick Salazar Escobar. Time for Hawes to turn. Lifted in behind for the run of Knutson. Barreto well positioned. And he's just going to concede the throw.
Yeah, it's a nice idea there. As you know, this Tiger midfield has started the second half well. Yeah, I like Knutson getting in the box and you know, trying to find the fourth goal. And Riley Hawes has looked really nice with a couple of touches that he's had. You know, the talented young first year from San Antonio.
Trinity can't make anything of the throw. Give it back to the Profs. Trinity never really a team that looks to go with the long throw, Callum, even as far back as your playing days. Seems like only a desperation tactic when you really need a goal.
I think if anything, it kind of depends on the players that you have. If you have someone with a long throw, I mean, Trinity legend Jeff Hayes in the 2013 season did have that long throw as an option. But, you know, it's something that you only really want to use if you actually have the capability to use it. There's no point a long throw only going 10 yards onto the pitch and not even reaching the penalty area. So, you know, credit to the Profs. They've got that as a threat and they're willing and ready to use it. And here's another set piece for them as they go short 2-on-1. I'm not sure why Trinity have only sent one out there.
Low ball swung in, and it's well dealt with by Knutson. Sent further clear by Jack Downs, who was that one in the 2v1 matchup in the corner. Gale across, and excellent work from Hawes, but it just runs out of real estate.
Yeah, that's really unlucky there from Riley Hawes. A great chase down on Gale. You know, Gale had a good 20 yards on Hawes, but he was able to close the gap and nearly come away with it.
And I think Gale not only struggling with fatigue, but motioning right now. He's struggling with a shoulder injury, and he's going to be quickly replaced here by Michael Ferrara. Pham skips past the initial pressure. Buys himself some space and time. And stroll ahead into the channel, and it's a great run. And a chance for Hunter Kane. Lays it off for Knutson. Good footwork, and it breaks for Michael Meese. Last-ditch challenge from Cleary, who's left in a heap in his own penalty area right now.
It's great football from Trinity there. Really nice move. Again, the ball keeps seeming to get stuck under people's feet at this stage, and not quite the cleanest of connections all over the pitch, as a number of players are suffering with some fatigue here. And we'll take a little break here as we check in on Cleary in his own penalty area.
And we'll step away real quick as both sets of players come across for some hydration as well. Be right back with you. Trinity still in front, 3-2. Watching early action here in the D3 season on the Tiger Network. It's our first look at Aiden McGuigan, who takes the throw on as a substitute. Cleary back on the field. A little bit of confusion as to whether he's allowed to re-enter. Trinity making sure that he heads back off, and Trinity will now put the pressure on high up. Currently, it looks like the Profs are playing with 9. 10 as they play a man down. I quickly remember how to count.
Yeah, I think there was a second there where they were maybe up to 12 on the pitch, and I think that was the concern from the Trinity coaching staff that a player was re-entering who had previously exited, but it's a free kick to Rowan just inside the Trinity half, and Cleary, who it looked like might have had an injury, is now taking this service into the box.
It's a good looking one in towards the principal target in Gartland. Gartland got a head to it over the top, and it'll be a Trinity goal kick.
And you know, when you have the size that Gartland does, it's not a surprise that you're going to look for him with long balls. I mean, it's part of what he's there for. But equally, he's in there defensively so that any balls from the Tigers that are up towards Michael Meese, he can try and win and sweep in front of Meese, who obviously is and has been, you know, the main danger man for the Tigers.
So we noticed that McGuigan was in and took the throw, and he was immediately taken off. I think maybe just a paperwork error in the substitutions. So McGuigan officially not in the game at the moment as Yates continues at left back.
And again, the referee there giving a nonsense free kick to Trinity this time. So a tough break for Rowan, but the ref continues to be consistently abject on both sides of the ball as it goes all the way back to Kaplan, who clears forward towards Instrel.
Instrel able to cushion that one down into the path of Hunter Kane. And the shot from distance, and that one well palmed wide. Riley Hawes looking to equal what Knudsen did in the first half. And that one's certainly worth a quick look at before Trinity take the corner.
I mean, that would have been even better than what Knudsen did. That's an unbelievable effort from Hawes. Left foot, far side, and give credit to Shea Kaplan. What a save that is to keep Rowan in this game just down one.
Another first-year midfielder with a clear eye for goal. As Trinity ready the corner, swung in by Eubank, and John Connor Rule, unchallenged, got a head to it. The goal was gaping, and we can't believe he hasn't put that one away.
It's just slightly off the top of his head. It's so unlucky. He's just got to try. I don't know if it's landed on the top of his head or if he's just mistimed his leap. But that looked for all the world like JC Rule was going to give the Tigers a 4-2 lead, though. Here's Meese and Downs in the attack.
And Downs had the space, instead looked to return it to Michael Meese. I don't think was expecting the second part of the 1-2. Instrel got a foot on the ball. Caputo launches it long. Davis, you mentioned his aerial ability, rising up to win that one over Alfred. Referee plays advantage as Hawes is quickly dispossessed by Yates as the attack broke down. Not a lot of off-the-ball movement that time for the Tigers. And Haas forced into committing the foul.
Yeah, Hawes, it's a really nice initial move to get past the first midfielder, but then trying to take on one too many as he and Chad Yates renew acquaintances in the middle here off the ball.
Launch long. Pham cut underneath it. Here's Ferrara. Michael Ferrara, twin brother of Alex Ferrara, who started this game. This one sent into the channel. Davis tries to keep it in play, unable to do so. It'll be a corner. Referee taking a long time to point out to the corner flag, putting doubt in everyone's mind.
And it's well defended by Davis, but again, like we said, you know, moving Davis inside from right back to centre back is a bit of a trade-off. You lose his driving runs forward and his pace out wide, but you gain a little bit of pace in the centre and you gain that massive leap that he's already shown off.
And Swinger in towards the near post, gets a flick on its way through. And help towards the edge of the box for Yates. Off the deflection, Eubank did enough. And here's the follow-up effort from Yates, cut back and sent wide a goal as the offside flag went up. Gartland wasn't able to make it count in any case.
Yeah, you have to say I'm surprised that he's not hit the target from there, Gartland. You know, got into a good position, but the initial ball, you can see on that replay, clearly Michael Ferrara was offside with zero doubt whatsoever, even from that angle that didn't really show it. And the ball now back with the Tigers, and Willman continuing to try and play out from the back, and this time he's going long, looking towards Meese, and it'll fall to Hawes here in the middle.
Hawes with Eubank to his left, calling for it, and here is Jack Eubank. Kane makes the run ahead of him. It's cut back towards Riley Hawes. Saw his left-footed strike moments ago. This one a right-footed diagonal, finds Downs in space inside the penalty area. Downs wriggles free to fire the low ball in, and now a chance for Hunter Kane. Well held at the near post for Kaplan.
I think Jack Downs has done really well since coming on at half-time down the right-hand side here, giving a lot of fresh legs to the Tigers and really threatened down that right-hand side. Credit to Jack for bringing a little bit of energy here off the bench, and another chance for the Tigers there.
And here's a darting run from the back line for Cleary. And Cleary in behind for Ferrara to chase. Willman called off his line. And that pass just a little bit overhit the center back with a good run into midfield, but perhaps showed why he's not a midfielder with the weight on that one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Cleary, he's done really well actually to carry that out of the back. And, you know, now in the modern game you see that with centre-backs like, Lisandro Martinez of Manchester United and Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool. You know, two very different centre-backs, but both famous for being able to play passes out of the back. And credit to Cleary for carrying that and then finding what was the right idea, just slightly wrong execution.
Long ball. Trinity continuing to go a little bit more direct here in the second half. We saw 5 first-half goals between the two sides, and we're just about 20 minutes in to the second 45. Chances at both ends, Trinity most notably through Hawes. As we're going to get a yellow card here, I believe, for J.C. Rule. He is into the book, and it did look late. We'll have a look at it.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, but he caught him on the foot, it looked like.
Yeah, can't really complain about that. As if you're a JC Rule or Trinity fan, you know you have to accept when a defender is late to the ball, and nothing more than that, nothing malicious, but slightly mistimed. And Rowan will now get another chance to pump the ball forward, and I'm sure that Turlo Gartland will be looking to get his head on the ball as Kyle Davis and JC Rule are almost in the vicinity of him.
Logar set to check back in for the Profs as well as Trinity deals with it well. Meese receives it with Cleary on his back. Poked back for Enstrel. And the flag stays down. Hunter Kane is onside. His first touch, they'll let him down. And it was good emergency defending from Martelloni, but now it breaks for Michael Meese. And again, Martelloni able to do just enough.
Mason Martelloni's been fantastic tonight, I will say that. He's been really good with the ball and, covering their last-ditch tackle. Credit to him.
Here's Hawes. He saw the idea as Michael Meese was waiting on the back shoulder of the back line. Trying to be sticking with the 11 they started the second half with so far. Plenty of options on the bench, even quite a few that started this game. Burns, according to our information, not going to return to this one.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that 20 minutes have gone by and there hasn't been any fresh legs for the Tigers. I mean, it is going well, so you can argue that for sure, but I think you will see some changes coming here in the next 5 or 10 minutes as the Tigers look to hold on as JC Rule slips.
Alfred in behind. An unfortunate slip at the back, and here's Alfred trying to find some space to get the low ball in. He's got options in the middle, and this one goes all the way through for Yates. Luke Yates, first time ball to Chad Yates on the corner of the 18-yard box. Enstrel forcing him back.
Really well done, Enstrel there.
And Gartland all the way back to Martelloni. The chance now gone. Possession still with the Profs. Cleary didn't see anything he liked. Cuts back and across again for Martelloni. See Gartland dropping in to make it an impromptu back 3 for the Profs. As that one skews off the right foot of Michael Famine out for a throw.
Does look like a couple of subs warming up for Trinity. Looks like Jake Simon and Shen Aji potentially as this Profs substitution is made, and Logar comes in to replace Michael Ferrara.
We'll resume play with a throw for Luke Yates. Both the Profs goals coming from Luke Yates throws. He hasn't had many opportunities to launch it into the box here in the second half. And here he comes combining inside and space potentially to shoot for Garland, who instead wanted to find the run of Caputo, overhit and behind. And now we will finally see Aiden McGuigan, who made a momentary cameo amongst some substitution confusion. And it's going to move Luke Yates into the center back partnership.
And that's interesting because that is a lot of Rowan's height at centre back that has now just departed. And Luke Yates, good a player as he has been so far today, not the tallest. So now that right-hand side that Trinity will be attacking, the left-hand side of the Rowan defence. It's a slightly new partnership, and we'll see if Meese drags himself onto Luke Yates specifically.
This one looking for Knudsen. Difficult matchup as Gartland uses his size to win the header. This one in behind, searching for the run of Hunter Kane. who, as we know, is going to put the back line under pressure here. Mies across as well to put the pressure on. And here's Knutson, skips past the challenge, now cuts back onto his right. And the cross from Kane, blocked. And those changes you mentioned now getting closer and closer. And looks like, after all, it will be Fraser Burns coming back into the game. Or perhaps not. We'll see in just about a moment as Fraser walks back over to the bench. Jake Simon, the hero yesterday, got the winning goal. Back into the Trinity midfield, and Adji back onto the right. Downs, you thought, deputized well here to start the second half, Callum.
Yeah, no, I thought, to be honest with you, both Hawes and Downs, who are being replaced there, have both had really good starts to this half. As a weird little touch there nearly ended up in a freak goal for the Tigers, and it will be a corner, as that shot took a huge deflection and went out behind the goal. But yeah, as I said, I think Downs and Hawes both had really nice cameos there, 24, 25 minutes, and they'll both be, they'll stick in the mind of Coach McGinley and Coach Cartier as they look forward to next weekend's games.
2 across to potentially work something from the training ground. Eubank does go short. Here's Hunter Kane off his left foot. Cleared away by Yates. Settled by Kyle Davis. 45 yards from goal. Launches it long towards the run of Michael Pham. Pham can't settle it. Trinity doing well just to prevent the counterattack for now. And the whistle brings it into the play as Knutson's able to win the free kick in what could be shooting range.
That was really, really clever from Adam Knutson there. Just took the touch and rolled his body away from Yates, meaning that if Yates is going to try and get the ball, he has to go through Knutson specifically. And this is definitely a shooting opportunity, and it looks like Shen Adji placing the ball.
Mies in conversation as well. Eubank walking away from it. As the wall 10 yards away is right on the edge of the 18, making this 28 yards from goal. Adji marks a few steps back. Mies now does the same. A very tall 4-player wall for the Rowan Profs. And it's Michael Mies who puts his foot through it, and that one into the shins of the wall.
Yeah, Mies didn't really catch that, not his best effort. I think from that far out, rather than going for kind of a low one, you can definitely go high there. There's enough distance from goal for you to get it up and down over the wall. Didn't quite work, but here's Adji right into the thick of things.
Adji looking for the run of Mies. That one repelled by the Profs, and Simon quickly showing why he's been one of the standouts for Trinity this weekend. Immediately comfortable on the ball coming back in after starting the game. Here's Rule. Nearly got himself in a spot of bother, but found Knutson in a good space. Knutson couldn't connect with Adji. And a potential counterattack. JC Rule has to be careful on a yellow card. Dealing with Alfred. Does well, and Eubank helps him out to get it further down the field. Mies putting pressure on Martelloni. And Adji with a big tackle coming across. And the strength and depth for Trinity means that Shen Adji basically has fresh legs coming into the second half despite starting this game.
And sub here for the Profs as Ryan Barnes replaces one of their goal scorers, David Caputo. Perhaps just a breather for Caputo. You might see him again before the end of this. But yeah, Adji with a really nice chase down and block tackle there. And, the Tiger bench absolutely loved it. And you heard it from the sounds of the substitutes there.
Adji takes it on the chest. No way past Yates. Now Yates climbing on the back of Adji.
Michael Somerville getting ready for the Tigers as well. We saw him last night and a little bit in the first half, and he's someone who can get the goal that the Tigers need.
Down the line for Adji. Neat feet from Shen Adji. Head back to JC Rule. Dump to the turf. Referee monitoring that. Playing advantage. Though it's a chance maybe for Kane. The cutback cross. Give credit to the referee. I didn't see the play developing really at all to deny Trinity a free kick from 30 yards out, but it ended up in a decent chance off the left foot of Hunter Kane. Davis across to deal with the counter.
Credit will be Alfred there again, making some really nice runs in behind, trying to offer an outball for Rowan and trying to get in behind and threaten. And we are going to see a change here as Knutson, it looks like, is going to be replaced by Somerville. And perhaps that means 2 up top for the Tigers?
If anything like we saw last year. Certainly seems like it. Although Coach McGinley currently in conversation with Meese. Knutson currently has the winning goal as it stands. It's been the best goal that we've seen at Paul McGinley Field this weekend. Chad Yates with a terrific effort yesterday. The dipping volley from Knutson for his first collegiate goal certainly will stick in the mind of Tiger fans for a long time to come.
Yeah, especially if it turns out to be the winner in what has been an incredible game, as Cleary looks to check back in here for the Profs. It is funny sometimes, you see a hectic first half with 5 goals and then a much tighter second stanza of the game, and it has proved that way with, still 3-2 Trinity here approaching the last 17 minutes of the game.
And it does actually look like Meese dropping into midfield. Interesting, a little bit of a different look for the Tigers' number 48, as he's in his own penalty area, used to doing damage in the opposition's. This one all the way through, and looked like it arced behind, and it'll be a goal kick.
Rowan are going to continue to try and threaten here. They know they're still in this game. It is tight here, just shade under 17 minutes to play as McCleary comes back in, and a more traditional back four look again for the Profs with a little bit more height in the middle. Martelloni and Cleary restored, and Yates back to left back. But as we said, Shen Adji almost fresh really, having had a little break to start the second half. And Adji can definitely get at the the left back Yates here down that right-hand side.
Willman sends the white jerseys up the field. Meese challenging for it again. Easily won by Gartland. That one sent out of play by Barnes. The first year, the only player on their own roster not from New Jersey. Hails from Clifton, Virginia.
Looks like that actually came off Simon as the throw-in has been given to the Profs. Yates taking his time trying to find a teammate.
Yates again launching it long. Battle between Ferrara and Simon. Simon has to be careful not to get his hands caught in the cookie jar. But it's going to be a chance for the first time really in the second half for Luke Yates to hurl this one into the penalty area.
And these are the dangerous moments. Trinity have to make sure they get the first contact on this ball.
Yates allows the Profs to take their positions. Sent in towards the near post. And Willman battling for it and clattered into by Chad Yates. A little bit of afters here between the two teams. Meese not happy with Logar going to ground.
I think much ado about nothing there generally. Potentially the Tigers feeling like their goalkeeper was a little bit under physical contact. Questions from the Rowan coaching staff as well.
In any case, we'll resume play with a goal kick. As we're under 15 to play, Trinity in front 3-2, with all the scoring coming in the first half. And as you perhaps predicted earlier on, Callum, Caputo quickly set to come back in the game as he's got a breather. Scorer of the opening goal for the Profs in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the freshman Caputo has been dangerous all night long, and so considering how effective he was in the first half, scoring the early goal, hitting the post, not a surprise to see Coach Baker throw him back in search of this equalizer with 14 minutes to play.
Rule tangling with Alfred just outside the penalty area near the corner flag on the far side. Alfred tries to curl that one in, and the offside flag up against Rowan. And Johnny Triano going to join Caputo, set to come back in. First we've seen of Triano today, although he did play significant minutes yesterday against Southwestern. Rowan defeating the Pirates 2-1. All the scoring in that game in the first half as well. Trinity doing their damage against Claremont Mud Scripps in the second 45 yesterday. Goals from Jake Simon and Michael Meese, who's on the score sheet here again on Sunday. 2-2 to start the season. And a chance as the back pass is intended for Willman and just about reaches him. And good work from Kane on the far side. Adji calling for it at the back post and appeals for a handball. Nothing given that time as the profs look to build out. The ball sprayed wide for Barnes. Unlucky for Somerville, who nearly came away with it, challenging Cleary.
Great offensive pressure there from Somerville as the Tigers continue to try and press high.
Logart showing his experience with a nice touch inside under pressure from two Tigers. Simon getting as far away from the referee as he can to try and avoid a yellow card. The referee doesn't seem to be interested in writing in his book.
Rowan debating that should have been a yellow card for Simon. I think it would have been a tad harsh, but actually surprised he kept the cards in his pocket, if I'm honest.
So it's a free kick right on the halfway line. Taken by Cleary. And it's a good-looking service in towards the edge of the box. And a chance for Ferrara in off the post. The appeals for a penalty short-lived as Ferrara takes matters into his own hands, onto his own left foot, off Austin Willman's left-hand post and into the back of the net. 3-3 as the Profs find the second-half goal they've been looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why they were appealing JC Rule a little bit into the back of him, but as we unfortunately cut to the wrong camera angle there, what a goal that was from Alex Ferrara. A fantastic hit in off the far post. And Rowan have found the equalizer. A little bit against the run of play here, but generally on the quality of their play, it's hard to begrudge them still being in this game at the late stage. And Rowan now have tied it up with a shade under 12 minutes to go. And the Tigers have to go in search of a winner. And maybe the Profs will think they can nick this too.
And here's going to be a good look at the Ferrara goal. Inch perfect, didn't have anything to give as it was shot towards Austin Willman's left.
Willman has no chance whatsoever there, in off the post, and the Tigers now looking for a goal again as Hunter Kane gets down the left.
Hunter Kane poking this one into the path of Somerville, who won't give up on it as the keeper off his line. Kaplan able to gather.
Does look like Fraser Burns' warm-up has picked up intensity after that goal, as the Tigers will definitely be looking to try and find a winner here late on.
Kaplan sends it long. Rule continues his entanglement with Wilby Alfred. It's occupied Trinity star center back all night long. Here's Somerville trying to combine with Kane. Those two haven't quite got on the same wavelength since Somerville entered the game. Again, Rule called into action. Last touch is off his forehead. And Troiano, the first year from Hazlitt, New Jersey, now into the game.
Replacing the goal scorer, Ferrara.
So a big round of applause for this senior, Ferrara. Giveaway in midfield, Yates able to pick up his head. Good defending that time as Yates dispossessed. Ahead to Somerville. Meese and Adji joining. This one to the feet of Shin Adji, poked ahead for Meese, back to Adji. And Adji hauled down from behind. Luke Yates caught wrong side. And Instrol standing over it.
10 minutes remaining.
Boy, situation!
So we've seen Knutson score his first collegiate goal. We've seen Jake Simon score his first collegiate goal yesterday. Alex Ferrara has just scored his first collegiate goal, despite listed as a senior on the roster. This one sent in. Trinity looking to go back in front as the bodies come together. And it's a strong punch from Kaplan to put it behind for a corner.
That's great goalkeeping. Absolutely fantastic goalkeeping. And, you know, great moment for Alex Ferrara. Glad he's able to celebrate his first collegiate goal as a senior, and what a goal it was too. But this is really nice from Kaplan. Has to come and get everything there, and absolutely does. Gives away the Tigers a corner, but great goalkeeping.
Looks like Instrol with the in-swinger, and Rule again looking for it. Cleared away just before it reached him by Gartland. Simon with another offering towards the back post, inches over the head of Shin Adji.
Yeah, nice idea from Jake Simon, just trying to keep it in there, put it towards the back post in the hope that maybe it might be able to be something for Chenaji at the back post. It looks like JC Rule might have a problem here for the Tigers. He's down, perhaps cramp, hopefully just cramp, but you can see a couple of players going through stretching routines here. We've said it's been a long weekend, certainly for Rowan with the travel and 3 games in 4 days, and for the Tigers with the 12:15 a.m. finish earlier today of their game last night. And it's not a surprise to see numerous players needing treatment here late on.
Looks like Blanc was a little concerned when he didn't come out for the second half. Maybe he was dealing with an injury, but he's going to be the one to replace Rule. Wearing the armband and the number 2 shirt. There's Rule, heavily involved in the play leading to that corner kick.
You wonder if maybe that was where this injury occurred. But based on what's happening with the trainers, it does look like it might just be cramping. In fact, he might be good to carry on. Peter Blanc is ready to check in. And in fact, they are going to make the sub regardless, I think.
So Rule.
Well, he's coming over to the sideline either way. Whether he comes out or not, we're not sure. Yeah, he's coming back in.
So Blanc will wait. And as will J.C. Rule. He's brought back to the sideline again. And now waved on. Ball rolled into midfield for Gartland. Cleary across. Martelloni, time on the ball. Trinity just taking a breather here. Under 9 to play. I think Rowan might be happy with the draw. Although, of course, still fighting to potentially find the go-ahead goal. They opened the scoring just 4 minutes into this game. And Alfred, who's already got his name on the score sheet once, challenging Rule here. He's got the better of J.C. Rule this time. Trinity just tiptoeing around in the penalty area as to not concede a penalty and now launching it long themselves. That one just ahead of Hunter Kane and out of play.
And now it looks like J.C. Rule is going to have to be replaced. But credit to Jack Eubank there not biting on that situation. Actually similar to an incident we saw earlier today in the Premier League where Tyrell Malacia didn't quite make a challenge on Bukayo Saka. If he had done, it would have been a penalty. And much the same here, Jack Eubank making sure he didn't make contact for fear of giving Rowan a penalty here inside the last basically 8 minutes as Peter Blanc, the Dutchman, looks set to check back in place of J.C. Rule.
Not a lot of other activity on the Tigers bench right now. Coach McGinley happy with the card that, with the hand he's currently played. Somerville up top, searching for his first goal of the season. Adji likewise puts the pressure on the Profs here. Pham flies high up the field to join in the press, but it's a good touch from Yates inside. Excellent challenge from Michael Meese, of all people, in midfield. And now Trinity can get going the other way. Adji cuts back onto his left. Ball ahead now for Michael Pham. A lot of Michaels on the field right now for Trinity. And their number 10's got a throw taken quickly down the line for Adji. Flicked over the head of one defender, breaks for him here inside the area. And the mishit effort breaks for Michael Somerville. Difficult to take as that one was coming over his shoulder. But he is a penalty box predator.
Yeah, it's a difficult chance. He just needs to wrap his foot a little bit more around that. It's instinctive. He's just trying to hit the near post. And, you know, he's going high and fast. The keeper's not going to have time to react to that if he hits the target. He just needed to get a little bit more of his foot around that and pull it inside that near post. As the Profs are going to make another sub here. And Chris Spicer is going to come in for the first time tonight.
Saw a little bit of action yesterday in the forward areas for Rowan. And this is his first involvement this evening. And, of course, this year in 2022, no overtime. So if it does stay 3-3 in 6.5 minutes, the game will go final as a draw. And, Callum, how do you think that plays into either of these two teams' hands tactically, how they see out these final 6.5?
You have to think, considering the weekend that we've already said Rowan have had, that they will be a little bit more of the tired of the two teams, just having played that one more game than the Tigers have. So perhaps, as you said, and, you know, the flurry of substitutions here definitely suggests that Rowan want fresh legs and also maybe to run a little bit of time off the clock here as we go towards the final 5 minutes, where inside the final 5 minutes the clock will stop for any further substitutions. So we'll see if they continue or if it is purely to run a little bit of time off as we get towards the final 5. And obviously on the road, you know, against a program like Trinity, you've got to think that a draw would be a very positive result for the Profs, and certainly not a bad result for the Tigers, but having been ahead in this game twice and, playing as well as they did earlier on and creating chances that they perhaps should have finished in the second half, the Tigers are definitely going to feel like they've let this one get away if they don't find a late winner here.
Cleary battling through both Somerville and Meese, but he can't keep possession. Here's Adji, takes it on the left foot early. And that one, the easiest save of the night for Kaplan.
Yeah, Adji trying the spectacular, didn't quite get his foot around that. And Kaplan able to hold the ball as we tick towards the final 5 minutes here. And I said earlier that this really reminded me of a Trinity-Chicago game from 2018, and that finished 3-3. And here we are, 5 minutes left, 3-3 scoreline, but the Tigers still pushing, and Adji getting in behind Yates.
Tangled up that time with Rowan's number 6, who runs out of room. Throw in for Michael Pham and Trinity. And we are now under 5 minutes to go. You mentioned clock will stop for substitutions going forward to try and prevent time wasting. That one just over the head of Meese, tracked down by Instrull, playing in the double pivot right now with Simon. Spread wide for Eubank. 2 assists in the game already for Jack Eubank. This one off his right foot, sent in for Michael Meese, who flicked header was sent goalwards. And it looked like a good effort, blocked by Martelloni. Kaplan taking his time, and we'll stop the clock here as Cleary, I think his race is run. He's already come off once, so he won't be able to re-enter if he does exit the field of play here.
Yeah, it looks like Cleary is going to be done for the night there. I understand what Meese was trying there with kind of the flicked back header. He was kind of caught the wrong side, not facing the goal, instead with his back to it. Haps could have tried to chest it down and find a player with a layoff from that position, but understandably trying to get a flick header and see if he could get a shot on target here late on.
So Cleary coming off for McGuigan. And we'll restart play with the ball at the feet of Che Kaplan, sophomore goalkeeper for Rowan. A couple of fantastic saves for him, despite picking it up out of the net 3 times. He's acquitted himself well over the course of the weekend. Didn't start their opener. It was Lazicki, the transfer, who got the minutes in the opening matchup with Johns Hopkins. Here's a chance perhaps for Alfred inside the penalty area. Eubank back in position. 6 back defending for Trinity. 3 waiting at the back post for Rowan. As Alfred digs out the cross and Simon puts an end to the attack. Sends it down the field for Somerville and Kane to chase. Well dealt with by Gartland. Out of play for a prof's throw. So with no Cleary, Luke Yates back in as a center back. Simon. Good ball in behind here for Michael Somerville to chase. He's got the run on the Rowan back line. He's all alone in the attack. Michael Somerville. Crucial intervention. Will concede a corner but prevent what could have been a huge goal-scoring opportunity for the Tigers.
Great recovery there from the Rowan back line. Somerville looked like he had the run on him and just didn't quite get a first touch under control that would have allowed him to take a second for a strike. And instead it's going to be a corner for the Tigers here, as he just opened to shoot and it was just cleared away, I think, by Gartland.
Instrull with the in-swinger, headed away by Yates. Helped on by Gale. Or Barnes, sorry. Another chance for Eubank off his left foot. Meese close to it. It'll be tracked down by Simon here on the near side. 2.5 minutes to play. In for Adji. Adji looking for the flick. Kyle Davis now in the penalty area. Tripped up. And Michael Pham, the only one back for Trinity with 2 profs putting pressure on him. He'll go back to Willman. Trinity will reload. Looking for the winner, but desperate not to concede. And find themselves on the wrong side of this scoreline. One nodded out of play by McGuigan.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Pham in for Simon. Good proactive defending from Barnes, but he ran out of room. Adji trying to spin, and he's tripped up. It'll be a chance for the set piece. We'll see who stands over it. Looks like it'll be Instrull. Everybody besides Michael Pham with eyes on a winner. Eubank now across the take. It'll be an in-swinger towards the back post. Two assists already to his name. Can he find the service required here? This one sent towards the back post. Simon rising high to meet it. Can't quite get there. Here's Hunter Kane with the dipping volley. And that one well-directed goalwards, but lacking the power needed to beat Kaplan.
Didn't quite grab hold of it there, Hunter Kane. And it looks like from the signals from the Rowan coaching staff, they're happy to try and run this clock out and take the 3-3 tie here.
Sent long. Header won by Eubank. And here's Chad Yates picking it up and putting it in behind for Wilby Alfred. Looks like the flag was going to stay down as Davis was forced to concede the throw. 45 seconds to play. And Rowan with eyes on a winner. Scooped in towards Barnes. Great touch from Somerville. One last chance in this for Trinity. 30 seconds to play. It's ahead for Michael Meese. 2 goals in 2 games this season. Can he find the winner? He's got 25 seconds to do so. Finds space, digs out across, and in towards the back post. And there's a big collision as Kaplan gets a hand to it. Somerville throwing everything at it. 15 to play as Michael Somerville picks himself up in the Rowan penalty area for one last launch for the Tigers. Off the right foot of Kyle Davis. And Adji to Instrel. He's going to have to take an effort at goal here. This one's going to end all square. 3-3 is your final. A hard-fought effort as Rowan comes from behind in the second half. And the equalizing goal from Alex Ferrara. Certainly worth a point here on the road, as was Knutsen's goal, worth a win in the first half, Callum.
Yeah, on balance, it's not an unfair result by any means. I think the mood of the 2 benches at the full-time whistle tells the whole story. I think the Tigers are a little bit dejected, a little bit disappointed not to continue their winning run to start the season. But this was a really high-quality game of football. And, you know, Rowan will celebrate their point happily as they deserve to do so, having travelled on the road and been able to get a point here. It's 2 good teams here and 2 teams that, you know, may well see each other again down the road if the NCAA tournament happens to match them together. But, yeah, a great game of football. I said it was reminiscent of the Chicago one. And, yeah, we've ended in a 3-3 draw.
So Trinity, who snapped Claremont Mudscript's 23-game unbeaten streak yesterday, moved to 25 games unbeaten in regular season play, spanning across 3 seasons now, back to the spring season of 2020-2021. Their 1 win, 1 draw here to start the season on opening weekend. Rowan moves to 1-1-1 after beating Southwestern yesterday and coming home with the proverbial 4 points on the road. Obviously no league title, no league standings this early in the season. But that game really had everything, Calvin. We were treated to some excellent goals and some hard-fought play on both sides.
Yeah, it was some great football from both sides. I mean, you know, the early barrage from Rowan was perhaps a surprise, and they started really well, got the early goal, and deservedly so. Should really have been 2-0 up inside, 10, 15 minutes as Caputo hit the post. But the Tigers show great resilience, and, this game is going to make both teams, a little bit more battle weary and aware and able to continue to fight throughout this season. Both teams have shown here we can concede a goal, we can go behind, and we can fight back and get a positive outcome, an outcome where we haven't lost the game. And we're going to take a look back at the goals here, as this was the initial scramble. Wilby Alfred had 2 shots, and it just fell to Caputo, who swiveled and put it into the bottom corner for the 1-0 lead for Rowan early on. And at that stage, Rowan were definitely on top. As we move forward and take a look at the 3-2 goal from Adam Knutsen, which was an unbelievable volley from start to finish. A great goal for him. A great moment.
Definitely one to clip up for the end of the season highlight reel. Knutsen scoring his first goal in Trinity colors. That one put the Tigers up 3-2, and it was Ferrara. We'll see perhaps if we have that one saved as well. The equalizer in the second half for the Profs. As we see the celebrations on your screen, we'll take you quickly through the final totals. 22 shots, 8 on target for Trinity, 3 saves for Austin Willman in the Tigers' goal, 12 fouls for each side, as Trinity had 7 corners to just 4 for Rowan, who had 13 shots and 6 on target. Cut offside 4 times, as Wilby Alfred constantly towing the line for the Profs, who will head back to New Jersey for their only home game of their opening 7. And they're, as you pointed out, much more battle-tested road warriors here. They come away with a point against the number 13 team in the nation, Trinity. who will have certainly some things to build off of and some things to work on as we head up to Dallas next weekend to face off against the Comets of UTD. For now, it's been a pleasure this weekend. Ryan Figert joined by Callum Squires on the call. Callum, thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you again later on in the season.
A pleasure. Thanks for having me. Always good to be on the Tiger Network, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. And if you're interested in some Labor Day soccer, we'll have Southwestern and Claremont Mudscripts for you on the Tiger Network tomorrow at 11 o'clock.